Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
Welcome back. Welcome back. What a beautiful, beautiful, and sad week we have ahead of us in what is Bipocalypse Part 2. So, welcome in. Thank you for joining us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, sponsored by Fantasy Six Pack. So, without further ado, Jason, my guy, how are we feeling about what is one of the saddest slates of the year?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I know this week is a lot of playoff week implications going for most of y'all. Luckily for me, in a couple of my leagues, we have 2 week fantasy playoffs and whatnot to where it's already been decided. But this week, if you haven't made it right now, you are scheming, my guy. You're in the depths. I hope you have fab.
Oh yeah, the fab is down bad for your boy over here. So it's a sad week in that area for me. But if you were one of those people that stockpiled at this point, you're feeling like you have an abundance of riches to choose from. And so shout out to you that we're frugal during the year and got to this point. Yeah,
We
hats
thrive
off,
it.
because your
We
boy was
thrive
definitely spending like he wasn't gonna run out of money, and look at this.
He
I ran out of money.
money.
All right, Jason. Listen, it's time for the dreaded, the one thing that everybody wants and doesn't want to hear about all at once. It's news and notes.
It's time for news and notes.
Listen, Jay, we got two running backs out for the San Francisco 49ers. Christian McCaffrey, who blew up his leg. That's the injury I'm going to call it. He blew it up.
Look bad, Shane. Look bad.
Looked really, really, really bad. And then they threw in Jordan Mason in a game that was completely out of reach, and he blew up his leg. So, pass the baton. Welcome into the ring, Mr. Isaac Garendo and Patrick Taylor. You are the last men standing. I did see that they signed. They signed somebody off of waivers this earlier today, and I missed it. But yeah, it's bad things over in San Francisco.
It's finally fab time in San Francisco, my guy.
It
fab
is
time. We've waited this all year long.
Yes, indeed, you have, and this is your opportunity to spend and get the young guy. So, this is a bittersweet moment for those who have been trying to play this San Francisco 49ers backfield for the whole season, because lo and behold, none of them are still available. By the way, Israel Abadakanda was the guy that was signed off of waivers, who actually kind of like Izzy.
Yeah,
So
good call out. Good call out.
that's one to keep an eye on. I don't know if it'll hit this week, but definitely watch for that. Taysom Hill. Just when we start having nice things, Jason, we can't have them any longer. Fantasy, why do you take Taysom Hill from us right when he starts to become the Taysom Hill we all know and love? He's gone.
I told you, Shane, that he always has that 1 week to where he shines. And if you start him that week, it is game over. You will win, and you won't have anything to look back at. But I think everybody has a soft spot for Taysom Hill in their heart because he is the football player that everybody hopes and dreams about, to where he is just a football dude. special teams, offense, everything. You line him up, he is going to be that guy. It's rough. It's rough.
All right. You want to know what Taysom Hill reminds me of?
Hit me with
He reminds me of every guy that says, I could go out and play in the NFL.
it.
Like, he is the least athletic, least exciting player in all of football.
Well,
And he
runs a
does
4.4.
I know,
Sorry,
but
runs a 4.5.
it doesn't, but like it's not, it doesn't look flashy. Like he does it, but
Okay.
it's not. But like he just reminds me of like every guy at a bar anywhere that's like, I could do that. And that's what he does.
Puts
He
on
does-
one glove. Puts
Yeah.
on one glove on his left hand and goes, I can do that shit.
Yeah. Hey, coach, line me up at running back. I got that. Like, come on. Like that's what he screams to me. So it hurts my soul seeing the guy that I think all of us want to be, go down like this, especially at his age. I don't know that this is the end for Taysom Hill, but it's not looking nice for Taysom Hill. It's not nice.
But like as John Gruden and I'm blanking on his name, who Sean Payton once said, that's a football dude.
He is.
That is a football dude who goes out there and plays football, doesn't care, puts his body on the line, and I love it.
Speaking of putting your body on the line, Jason, Matt Eberflus was fired, and it's about time that he caught that body because it was dismal in Chicago. And so I think Chicago fans will be rejoicing. I'll have to reach out to some of my buddies that are Bears fans and see how they're feeling, see if the temperature is rising in Chicago in these bearish conditions.
I got a question for you though. Is that more that last second play that everybody and their mother and their grandmother and their mother's mother saw on Thanksgiving? Is that on Caleb Williams as much as it is on Eberflus?
That's 100% on Matt Eberflus.
Okay, and I agree. But are you saying that because he has a rookie quarterback?
Not only does he have a rookie quarterback, Caleb was just trying to get the guys up to the line. It's the coach's responsibility to manage the clock. If not, what is the point of a coach?
Right.
Like at that point in the game, like the player is thinking, okay, we got to run the next play. We got to get set. I got to get this guy over. I got to get this guy over. We're set, play. Call the timeout. Like you're on the sideline. You have one job, and that's to manage the situation appropriately for your team, to put your team in the best chance to win.
What would you have done in that last play? Because I agree with you, but I would have not called a timeout based on the third down situation. I would have ran a play. But the lack of like time management was the thing to where I think that cost them. I think they should have ran a play, but calling a timeout would have put them at a worse position. Because they were already at third down.
Yeah, but with the clock burning at that point, you're fighting against the clock. I think you have to burn the timeout in that situation.
Then do a fast pace
a sideline out. All you need is a field goal. Literally,
a sideline out or a emergency field goal.
Yeah. A
touchdown
wins.
That's
a touchdown wins the game.
Mm-hmm.
A touchdown wins the game, but a field goal ties it. You go to OT.
Yes,
and
sir.
You weren't supposed to be there. I get that, but give yourself a chance to win the game. The fact that you don't do that as an NFL head coach, NFL organization, is preposterous. That man should never be hired again. In my opinion, he should never be hired as an NFL.
He's going to be in college. He's going to be in college next year.
He'll probably go win a college championship or something. Who knows?
Ohio State, call him up.
That's a whole different topic. We won't talk about bad coaches being bad coaches. Speaking of bad coaches being bad coaches, how about bad players being bad players, Jason? Your boy Aziz Al.
Bad players. We're going here.
You take it away. This is your boy. Tell us how you feel. And I do have some stuff I need to chime in because I think we may be on the same page here, but I don't know. So what you got?
It's coming from I guess, high school defensive player, and I know it's one of those things to where the NFL regards quarterbacks as their crown jewel. Understandable. Everybody in the NFL respects that. Owners want that. We all want that. Nobody wants to see their starting quarterback get hurt off of some BS that happens in the league. But my thing is, when you slide a right into a person to where, like, hey, you're not giving yourself up just like 2 yards ahead. You're just like, oh shoot, I see somebody that's bigger than me that is going to lay the fucking wood and kill me. Oh, I'm gonna get down inside. What is he supposed to do? Yes, Shire has had a history of hits this year and punching people on the sidelines. That is my guy. That's who I want my linebacker to be. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about how, hey, this guy's dirty player, whatnot. That's how you want your starting linebacker to be. I love it. You mess with somebody on the defense, that's like Ray Lewis situation. It's like, we're coming for
Well, he
you.
killed
I
a
want
guy.
you to know. Yes, I wasn't gonna go there, but hey, you knew where I was going. But all right, I I get what the NFL did. I thought 3 games, especially what like Shane and I talked about this earlier. I thought 3 games is a little too much. I heard people talking about suspending him for the rest of the year. For what? An NFL quarterback should know to get down earlier. Yes, he did lead with a forearm, but what are you supposed to tell an NFL linebacker or an NFL DB with a quarterback coming at you that isn't going out of bounds to just like, oh, I'm sorry, just let him go?
All right, all right, all right. I hear you. I do. I hear you, and I get it. I will say, I think that the time frame of which Alshir had to react was not adequate enough for this ruling to be effective, because while it was a dirty hit, he could have tried to avoid him. He led with the elbow.
Yeah,
All of those things.
I don't think
I
he
get
could
that.
have avoided him. I don't
He-
think he could have.
I hear you. I'm saying I was saying along the same lines.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
It's in a situation where he had approximately 0.6 seconds to make a decision as the guy is running at him full speed. And as soon as he sees him go into the slide motion, he is 0.6 seconds away from impact per the video clip. The only thing he could have done was attempt to graze him, but leading with the elbow was definitely malicious.
Yes.
So
And
like that's the one
yeah.
aspect of it that like I don't like. It looks bad. But other than that, if he didn't lead with the elbow, if he was just going to crush, Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence slid, and all he did was catch him with a shoulder pad as he's flying over top of him, I would have no issue with that whatsoever. But leading with the elbow, I think, is what actually comes back to being there was intent. And so I think that 3 games is too much because Trevor Lawrence did do this to himself. He did not play by the rules of if you slide, you get down. He played by the rules of they'll protect me. It's still football, my guy. It's still football. Get down if you're getting down. He could have slid sideways, not directly into the play. There are things he could have done to protect himself other than sliding directly at a 250-pound man moving at full speed to crush him. Just saying.
Yeah, no, and I reviewed the play again, just like you did. He was going for a first down. So if you're going for a first down in the NFL, you don't slide feet first because you go back where you started sliding. You go face first. I think there should be a rule change where it comes to it, how a quarterback should call himself down in some sort of way to where it's not in the effect of a defensive player to where everybody wants to say he was going for a first down, well, yeah, he slid a
slid.
yard behind the
Yeah.
line and didn't get the first down. And Shire, yes, he is getting reprimanded on this because he led with the forearm, and unfortunately he has a criminal past.
Yeah. I mean, he's a defensive player in the NFL. How to do? All right, Jason. That is
But
too
yeah,
much
no,
time
yeah.
spent on a player that doesn't play fantasy football.
But he's
So-
it's a heart and soul of the defense.
I
of
hear
the
you,
Texans.
but he's not an offensive player, and we're here to
We
talk
spent
about
our
offense,
time. We
Jason.
spent our time.
We're here to
We
talk
spent
about
our
offense.
time.
So,
Yeah.
without further ado, let me pause and say, if you do not follow us on Spotify or on our socials, please take this exact moment to go ahead and head over there, and please enjoy this beautiful music leading into Fire and Ice. All right, Jason. In Bimageddon, it is hard to avoid landmines, but we're going to attempt to do so with you guys today. This is some knowledge bombs. This is some dangerous territory. We're playing with fire, and we're playing with the cryo zone, and that is the ice. First off, let's start with the fire, Jason. And listen, if I have him on my team, I'm definitely looking to start him in what is a abysmal games going on. Give me Baker Mayfield to be my fire quarterback for this week. It's a great bounce back spot against this terrible Vegas Raiders team. I expect him to put upwards of 22 points on the board for Tampa as far as, his fantasy points goes. So I would say Fire Baker. He's listed as QB4. I think that's pretty appropriate. I don't think that he necessarily out-achieves QB4 this week with the games that are on the slate, but I do think that he definitely achieves QB4 at least. So I like the spot. I like the matchup. I like the player. And just keep feeding the big guy. Mike Evans, man. It's pretty simple science. Give it to the big guy. Let Becky Irving do what he's doing in your backfield and take advantage of what is a dismal Raiders team.
If y'all don't know, me and Baker went back to back home runs back in the day. I sacked his ass in high school. That's nowhere need to be mentioned again. But with Mike Evans being back, with Bucky Irving's emergence in that offense is so scary, Shane.
Yeah, they're clicking.
He's got four options in that offense to where he can go to at all times, and that offensive line is slept on in the league.
Yeah, no, they're turning into a pretty solid unit. The real thing holding them back from being a competitor is that defense, which is a good thing for fantasy football. So it usually means that Baker has to do, he has to get in the kitchen and he has to cook, and that's what I expect this week is Baker to fully come out with a flambe of a treat for fantasy managers. Next, we got a running back. He's been cold. He's been frozen. Let me emerge from the flames, Mr. Brees. Oh, buddy, come on down. You're playing in the beautiful, the wonderful Miami. At this time of year, this is a vacation. And let me tell you what, I think that Brees Hall is going to take Miami straight to the beach because he is facing a Miami defense that is very hurt on their front seven. And I think that this is the opportunity for the Jets to truly make a statement in division. They may be out of the playoff race, but this is a chance to kick Miami out of the playoff race as well. So give me the Jets, and I mean the Jets in a holistic fashion, to come surprise Miami here and to feed Brees the way he's meant to be fed for one time this season. That's all I want. I just want Brees Hall to get 25 touches and let him eat. And I think that they can do that in this matchup, and I think he'll be very efficient doing so.
Real quick, Shane, I love the pick. I think we both agreed that Miami's overrated and that they can only play at home, but at the same time, I don't feel like they can play with good teams. And I feel like the Jets are an underrated team, and I feel like they will put up a matchup versus this Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I agree. So last week was the first time this year that Brees Hall did not catch a pass. He was only targeted one time.
That's going to change.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to change.
He only had 12 rushes for 60 yards. I don't think that is a repeatable offense that you can do as a Jets organization that has nothing going on this year. You have nothing.
Agreed. Agreed.
for our wide receiver, we are going deep in the bag because it's a bye again. Sometimes
Pull
you
it
just
out.
gotta
Pull it
build
out.
guys. You gotta build your team from the waiver wire this week, like Jason does in a league. Listen, Brandon Cooks deserves some respect. He had a 51% route share last week and had a 19.4% target share. Look, he only had 16 yards and a score. Not great. Score's nice. Yardage leaves a lot to be desired. But he had 7 targets. And the Cowboys are playing the Cincinnati Bengals this week, who we've all seen how terrible that defense is. We've seen how many points that offense can put up. If the Cowboys want to stay in this game, and they still have a flicker of hope, there's still the faintest light. There's still in Cowboys name somewhere. A light is shining through a window. Maybe in Jerry World.
It's shining through the Jerry World right now. Huh?
Yeah, it's shining through Jerry World. And Brandon Cooks can be the guy that's standing at the bottom of that light. Just the grace and the presence to get you through this week. I think that this is a favorable matchup. I think that Brandon Cooks is slept on a little bit too much. He's kind of that guy that everybody just forgets about. And I don't think that he's someone who should be slept on that way. He's a very good wide receiver, has been a good wide receiver throughout his career. I expect him to be able to put up, at least an average performance this week and help you out if you're in a tough spot. So
I think he gets in the end zone this week versus the Bengals.
Back to backs. I like it. I will say that the next 3 weeks, Dallas has Cincy, Carolina, and Tampa Bay. So this is a guy. This is a guy that if he gets hot, he's got a hell of a schedule going into the fantasy football playoffs, and you could ride that wave all the way to some money, Jason. Now for our tight end, it's barren out there, but there's a guy who happened to fall into a good situation, and he's produced in the past. I present to you Mr. Juwan Johnson, also known as Week 17 of 2023's tight end 1. Listen, he does this. He's done this in the past. He's come on at the end of the year, and he's balled out. He's doing it again. And Taysom Hill is gone. The boogeyman is gone. He had an 18% target share last week, almost 19% target share.
RIP.
Yeah, pour one out for Taysom Hill. But listen, I think that there is definitely enough in this offense to go around for Juwan Johnson because there's no alphas in this offense. So lean on Juwan Johnson.
MSV.
Okay. It's MVS, but
MVS, whatever.
MSV, I think, is a disease. I think you caught it with that one. Something that MVS could never do at any other time in his career.
I think the Saints caught that.
They did indeed. But yes, I think Juwan Johnson is in a great spot going forward. I think that, unfortunately, the injury to Taysom Hill has opened it up. Take advantage of it. He's listed as tight end 20. Don't sleep on that. The rankings have not adjusted for the fact that Juwan did, in fact, pop off last year at this exact time period. Cook it up, put him in your lineup. He's hot. Now for ice. This is the easy one, but it's the ugly one, Jason. I'm stepping in front of the freight train. I am. Choo-choo coming down the tracks. Not today. Jared Goff, you're playing Green Bay at home. I get it. You're at home. You're inside. You're an inside cat. We all know that. But Green Bay's defense is stout, and Detroit is supremely banged up. I don't think that this is a game that I want to play in a week that probably is deciding a lot of people's fantasy seasons. If I have another option, I'm going with it. I may even consider starting Will Levis over Mr. Jared Goff this week.
That's if you're down bad.
If it's between Jared Goff and Will Levis, I think I'd rather roll with the unknown.
Because
what's in the box.
Green Bay's rush defense is worse than their pass defense.
It is. The rush defense is worse.
I agree.
The pass defense produces a lot of turnovers, and they create a lot of pressure when dropping back. And that's something Goff, when he's under pressure this year, he's excelled recently, but in his history, he has not excelled against.
And they're banged up. Detroit's D line is banged up, so they might be able to control the ball a little bit more.
Yes, indeed. Now for our running back, the man who probably should have been on this list many times before, Kenneth Walker, my guy, come on down.
Come on down, finally.
Yeah. 5.6 points.
Price is right for you.
Against the New York Jets. He officially lost goal line work to Zach Charbonnet. I don't know what to make of it. In a week that's do or die for a lot of people, I'm not trying to play that game if I can avoid it. I know that you probably drafted Kenneth Walker high and that he's not someone you could bench. I get it. But if you have another alternative, this would be a time to turn to him. Because I don't see it in the cards. If we're doing
this is like the Gus Edwards. This is like the like what other running back combos am I thinking of that just steals the goal line in the history of fantasy football?
In a history? I mean, Jerome Bettis.
No, Gus Edwards. What's another one that I'm thinking of?
Jamal Williams?
Yeah, that's a great one.
I can do this all day.
This is what this is turning into.
This is a whole different game. This is a whole different game.
But
I can do this all day.
This is what this is turning into because they get into the red zone, but they don't give him his touches. What, 6 points last week?
He had 5.6. Zach Charbonnet had 11, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, you know, it's ugly. Yeah, Sharbs had 11. He had 4 runs for 28 yards and a touchdown and 2 catches for 13. So
my rant's over.
It's just, you know, I think that it's a situation where this murky game, not something I want to play with this week. Listen, we talked about stepping in front of it with the quarterback, but let's be honest, Jerry Jeudy had the all-time game of Jerry Jeudy games ever. What was it? 36 fantasy points? Yeah, 36 fantasy points.
41 yards. on mine. Yeah.
Yeah, in half point, it was 36. He had 235 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Look, I get it. He won your week. I get it. He put up 23, 11, and then 36. They're playing Pittsburgh this week in Pittsburgh. It could get cold. It could get snowy. I don't love
He's
the
worst matchup. He's the worst matchup. Yeah.
He drew a terrible matchup. And I think that he drew Icarus this week. I think that he flew too close to the sun. Everybody's starting to believe in Jerry Jeudy. I think that it's about time that he flies back to Earth and lands among the normal people in the normal range that we expect of Jerry Jeudy. And Cedric Tillman may be back this week, which would also cut a lot into what Jerry Jeudy does. So keep that in mind.
Can we all agree that we love Jameis Winston in that offense?
I love Jameis Winston.
So
period.
Good. It looks so good.
Yeah.
The offense would be so much better if it was him without the turnovers.
Yeah. All right. Now to the guy who should be dirty dancing, put in the corner, never to be talked about again. Don't ever try to hype me up about this ever again. Kyle Pitts, my guy. No catches in week 13, only had 2 targets, and Atlanta was absolutely flailing on offense. His last 4 games, let me read them to you. Dallas, 1.6 points. New Orleans, 7.5 points. Woo! Denver, 1.4 points. Chargers, 0 points. That's just abysmal. And
shot in the heart, and you're to blame.
Go stream somebody. That's my honest take. Go pick somebody up off of the waiver wire and play them because they have a better chance of producing than Kyle Pitts does. So I rest my case. The jury will come back with their confirmation on Tuesday about whether or not we're right. But I don't think that we'll be wrong because we aren't.
What is up with that offense? What is up with that offense that they can't give him the football and scheme something up for him? Anyways, Shane, I don't want to talk about Kyle Pitts anymore.
Let's get right into the nitty. As they said on the Hit Game Show once upon a time, let's get down to the nitty gritty, Jason. Packers versus Lions is your Thursday night football game, available on Amazon Prime. Listen, you're starting anybody that you have from either offense that's healthy. That's it. This is Mageddon. You don't have better options.
Yeah.
And I know I just all over Jared Goff, but you don't. You don't probably have a better option.
Christian Watson.
It depends on what my team looks like, but I'd consider it.
Yeah. If it's Mageddon, you're probably starting him.
Yeah. I think that during Mageddon, I think that it's the time period where sometimes you take shots. Like you take the high ceiling.
Agree with
because
that.
your team's not gonna have the normal floor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe you end up rolling.
I like him with their Anzalone being down with the Lions.
Yeah, I concur. I think that it creates some mismatches that wouldn't be there without it. Also, Christian Watson is wide receiver 39. So yeah, I mean he's definitely consensus ranking wise, he's 39. Yeah, I don't hate it.
You're gonna get some shots and you're gonna get some deep overs with him.
Yes. And if he pulls one down, you're feeling really good.
Yeah.
The noon slate on Sunday. Here's the game of the week, arguably. And it's buried on the noon slate. Who'd have thought? Atlanta Falcons, Minnesota Vikings. You're firing up TJ Hawkinson. You're firing up Aaron Jones. You're firing up Justin Jefferson. I'm assuming you're firing up the guy who just pled not guilty to 2 DUIs. You're firing up everybody but Kyle Pitts on the Falcons. And I think I would consider starting Ray McLeod. And I know you're forced to in a league, Jason. How do you feel about starting Ray McLeod?
I'm already in the playoffs, my guy. I'm chilling.
He said, I'm there. This is a bonus. This is a bonus. We're gonna see what happens. That doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, but I think the Vikings have a pretty putrid pass defense. And I think that Ray could take advantage of it.
Ray should be option 5. He's option 3, it seems like, in the offense, which hurts to say.
Yeah, actually, I'd say option 4.
Yeah,
option 1.
I was Bijan option 1, option 2, London, option 3. Sometimes it's Mooney, sometimes it's Ray.
That's fair. Yeah, I hear that. I think that, I think this is a situation.
He was option 3 last week, where whoever the offensive coordinator is for the Falcons needs to be just slapped.
I think it's just a disease the Falcons have picked up along the way from having.
You have a freaking tight end that is the. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyways, we have one of the games that could have been an email. This is the Saints versus the Giants. The Giants had Dexter Lawrence and Theo Johnson both hit the IR this week. The Saints had Taysom Hill hit the IR. That are without Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed.
Are you picking up anybody from these teams to fill in for your bye week tandem?
I mean, Juwan Johnson, but other than that, I don't want to. No.
Okay, so that's the only player. Yeah.
If somebody's on,
go ahead.
So if somebody's on waivers, like as far as from these teams, the only person I'd want to pick up would be Juwan. So, like Juwan,
we're good.
Yeah. And other than that, you're starting the normal guys that you would start if you want to do the Malik Neighbors questions, the Tyron Tracy questions.
Are you Drew Lucking it?
No. There's got to be a better option than Drew Luck in your league. If you're playing Drew Luck, you're really down bad. I'm so sorry you're at this point. Drew Lock. You said Drew Luck.
Drew Lock.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Drew Lock.
Lock. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah. He was not on lock last week.
Yes.
Speaking of another guy that was not on lock, Mac Jones and the Jaguars play the Tennessee Titans. Oh man. This is could have been an email game to me, Jason. Is there anybody that stands out to you that you're like, I want that guy?
Jags versus who again?
The Tennessee Titans.
Sorry.
Did you hear me? The Titans?
Oh, yeah. Westbrook Akine. If
Jason,
you
we
don't
discussed
have
this.
him already,
We discussed this. We can't shout the man's name out because as soon as we do, he's not going to do the things that he's been doing.
Done.
We can't talk
I'm
about
not the
him.
only person.
It's an agreement
Oh,
between
wait,
all
sorry.
podcasts. No one can talk about Nick Westbrook Akine so that he can continue
I
to have this
want-
magical run. That's what we want. We want this magic.
I don't want Westbrook and Akine. I want Brian Thomas. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay.
I didn't say Westbrook Akine at all.
It was not mentioned. He wasn't mentioned.
No.
I do agree with Jason on the guy that was not mentioned.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I believe it was a rap album one time. NWI.
Yeah. No, we don't talk about that.
Anyways, yeah, on to the next one. We have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh boy. As far as the Raiders go, Jason, I'll take them right now.
Okay.
Give me whatever running back is deemed healthy enough to play. Whether that's Amir Abdullah
it's
or
hard to...
Zamir White, or and I'm saying this as I'm just taking whichever one's actually playing.
Bye week, if you need it.
Yeah. Whichever one is healthy, that's the one I'm
playing. I think Madison's still going to be out this week.
There's a chance Madison's out. There's a chance Zamir White's out. If he's out, I'm actually leaning Sincere McCormick.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind picking him up. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
other than that, who you're starting.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving is that dude. We finally figured out an answer in that Tampa Bay backfield, which we hated in the first 5-7 weeks of the season, to where we were like, what the hell is going on here? We know Bucky Irving needs to get more touches. They finally started to give him more touches. Look what happens. That offense is dynamic, and especially it's just a shame to see that Godwin is hurt, because that offense would be one of the best offenses in the league if that weren't the case, because they had Bucky, the whole thing.
Talk about the rise of Bucky, the Winter Soldier. That's what I want to name him. We're going to nickname him the Winter Soldier going forward. Bucky Irving is running back 9 in consensus rankings this week.
Winter Duck? Or the... I mean, he's a duck.
I know he's an Oregon guy. We'll workshop this and come back. That's great. Winter Duck, man. But yeah, no, I think Bucky Irving is in a smash spot against this Raiders defense. So yeah,
ride his high court.
Yeah, ride it till it breaks. Next game, another really good matchup this week is the Browns versus the Steelers. Why are these good games in the noontime slot when there's no games going on?
Because there's no other games.
Yeah, there's no games going on. Why are we putting 2 good games in the noontime? What are we doing? Yeah, Browns versus Steelers. You're starting the normal guys for Pittsburgh. I guess if you want to, you could start Pat Freiermuth at this point. And the Browns, you're starting anybody? I guess I don't know. Maybe you can even start Jerome Ford.
Who would you pick up on the Browns if you needed a flyer?
Elijah Moore would be the guy I would pick up. The Steelers are sus against slot wide receivers. I say that a lot, I know. But they are. It's the weakest spot on their entire offense, or on their entire defense.
Joey Porter and everything. They need quick passing because Joey Porter's an outside corner.
Yeah.
One of the best in the league. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can't attack the Steelers on the outside, so I think attacking them on the inside. And that may be the Njoku that lines up in the slot. So that would be, a downfall to Elijah. But I do think Elijah is going to get primarily, the slot reps like he has been. And yeah, you just fire him up and you feel pretty good about it in what could be a very interesting matchup. Hopefully it doesn't end up in a rock fight, because what we've seen from both these teams is they can score, and hopefully it doesn't get muddy. That's what I want this game to be high scoring. It would be fun if this is a high scoring game.
Even in the Snowfest game that we saw, the first snow game that we saw, it should have been higher scoring than it was. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of drop passes in the red zone. So I think without weather, it should be a better game.
Yeah, it'll shape out to be an actual football game, not one of the 1940s slogfests that we witnessed over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, not the 49ers just choking
Yeah.
last week. Yeah.
Listen, that was last week.
Yeah.
The Panthers versus the Eagles, Jason. Who do you want on the Panthers?
Mm. I don't know if I want anybody.
Against this Eagles team, I agree with that sentiment.
If I have to pick somebody, it's Chuba for
Mm-mm.
that's the only person. Bryce Young. I will say this. Shane and I have talked about this in the recent weeks. Bryce Young looks like the number one draft pick everybody thought he was going to be. This is what happens when you go to a shitty ass team and you have to start right away. When you don't have protection, you don't have weapons. Now he looks like he is a form of himself with a good backup quarterback of the Red Rider. I love the Red Rider, but at the same time, the Eagles are the best team in football. They're the best. They have the best players overall. It's hard to pick a player on that team. Shane, who are you gonna say?
I would maybe lean Adam Thielen. That would be maybe the only
He did
guy.
have a sick ass catch last week.
Yeah, he had two. He caught the first touchdown. It was some bullshit that they didn't call it. There should be 360-degree camera angles in the NFL stadium. I don't understand how
I'm
that's not a
surprised they
thing.
don't have more.
Or just put a sensor in the ball so we know. They have sensors in balls in every other sport. Why is there not a sensor in a ball in football? Anyways, I digress. Yeah, I think that Thielen could, be in a spot here that makes sense. Especially since I think Philly could put up quite a few points on this Carolina team.
Yeah, you're wrong.
So, yeah, take apart the passing game, run with it. Thielen also, he's been balling when he's healthy this year. So, the New York Jets versus the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are thawing out after a cold one this past week. Dolphins on extended rest, playing the Jets. Anybody that we want on the Jets, not named Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, or Devontae Adams? I think the answer is no.
You hit it.
And then the Dolphins, Jonnu, Tyreek, A-Chain, Waddle if you're feeling spicy.
Waddle if you have a bye week desperation.
Yeah,
that's it. No, that's it.
You can't play Waddle. You can't play Waddle with anything other than like hope for a spike week at this point.
30 points. I'm gonna start him. Fucking listen, 10. Cool.
Yeah, that is the struggle. To be fair, I think we should have expected that coming into the year. With
we knew it. We knew that was gonna happen.
Being the wide receiver 2 is. Now, for what is one of the best divisional matchups of the entire week, Jason. The Seattle Seahawks take on the Arizona Cardinals. This could actually decide supremacy in the division, which is crazy. I don't think you could have told me that at the beginning of the year, and I would have believed you. I think both teams do not pull punches this week. I think that the Cardinals have a really good defensive unit, but I think it can be attacked through the air. And I think it's a great spot for JSN. I think it's a great spot for DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I thought that for the past 5-10 weeks.
DK's gonna have one of the DK signature games somewhere along this line. And why not pick it in a divisional matchup that I think a lot of points could be scored because they're playing in the desert? Just saying, Jason. Just saying. Who do you want on the Cardinals? I know that you're going to complain about one MHJ.
I'm going to complain about DK and MHJ. Both of them. They don't get enough targets. JSN deserves his targets. And I love how JSN has accumulated those targets over the years because we knew going into this year, Shane, that he is that dude. and he was a perfect pickup to replace Lockett. It's the perfect situation for him in that offense. MHJ, there's no reason why he shouldn't be getting more targets in that offense. No reason. If they're going to just hand it off to James Conner and check it down to McBride, what the hell are you?
Kyler's
What the
been a
hell are
very
you doing?
uninspiring quarterback this year. And that's
Yeah,
my takeaway
exactly.
from all of this is Kyler's been very uninspiring as an actual quarterback.
He's too conservative, which I have no idea why. Until he's in the red zone, that's when he opens it up to his stud receivers. It's like Michael Wilson became a big part of their offense, and you're like, who the hell is that guy?
Well, to be fair, Matt and I had been pounding the table for Mike Wilson, but the issue is he also doesn't get enough
he's a
targets.
wide receiver 3.
It's so interesting because they aren't targeting anybody heavily except for Trey McBride, and then they're targeting MHJ, but it's in inopportune situations. Like they aren't taking advantage of what he can produce.
Like you said, he gets one look, done.
Yeah, it's a first read thing, and if he's not open, and he's not going to get back to it. Because then Kyler's going to tuck it and run.
Well, and it's not even. It's like a 2-second read. Like, are you open off the line?
Did you beat him in the first 3 steps?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now to the next game. I think this game could have some fireworks. I think that this one may be one of my favorite games of the week. And I'm not saying it's the best game of the week, but I think it could be my favorite game of the week. It is the Bills traveling to the beaches in LA to take on the Rams. We're going to see 2 teams truly headbutt here, 2 juggernauts from the past fight it out on what is going to possibly decide the outcome for both teams in the playoffs. I think the Bills need to continue their role. And I think the Rams really need this win to stay on the playoff hunt. So if the Bills have any hopes of grasping the 1 seed, which they desperately need, they can't drop this game. But I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks because I don't think either defense is really that great. And both offenses we've seen the greatness that can be possible from this Rams unit. And we've seen on a consistent basis the greatness that is this Bills offense. So, Jason, is there anybody out of the norm on the Bills that you would like to call out? No Keon Coleman takes. No Amari Cooper is going to come score 20 points this week. Okay. How about the Rams?
Demarcus Robinson.
I knew you were going to say that. I think Marcus Robinson is in for an interesting week. I will say,
it's bye week. It's bye week.
Yeah, and by Mageddon,
Yeah.
I feel like this is a good spot to play him. Although he did just have he did have the big blow up week. So
he's gonna have it again.
We'll see if he can put it together.
The Duke is blown up in the red zone like it's his day job.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the other thing is he's always open. I don't know how he does it. He's always open.
Yeah, because you got a doubled Puka, then Cup is also getting doubled on the other side, and it's like, oh, who else do we have?
Yeah, let's put the linebacker on Let's put the linebacker on Demarcus Robinson.
This guy's actually a 2 in another offense, but he's our 3rd or 4th right now.
Yeah,
we'll throw it to him.
Yeah,
he's gonna be open.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Tyler Johnson deserves a shout out. He's been a pretty good role player.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, depending on how deep your stuff goes, like, he could be someone you could slot in and get some points. You're not feeling great about it.
Why am I blanking on their running back? I'm forgetting about him.
Blake Corum or Kyron Williams?
He's gonna be a dude.
Yeah, Blake looked really good.
He's gonna be a dude.
He handled the entire series, and I was like, why are we not running Blake Corum more? But I digress. Let's go on to the next game, Jason. We got the Chicago Bears, taking on the 49ers. Both of these teams are done for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really anybody's guess as to which team shows up here. The Niners still do have a shot to make the playoffs. The Bears do not. The Bears did just fire their head coach, So maybe you get the dead cat bounce. But I think that Roma Dunze deserves a shout out because I'm going to keep pounding the table. He keeps getting
He
targets.
should run through the route next time they win a football
keeps
game.
getting targets. He keeps getting open. They need to get on the same page, and it will happen. It will happen. I trust that it will happen. And why not against the 49ers who have nothing to play for? And then obviously for me, the Niners, you have to shout out Isaac Rindo, but I think Patrick Taylor deserves a shout out because he will receive a lot of the pass catching duties. We know how valuable those are in the 49ers offense.
I don't mind the 49ers defense this week.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I don't hate that. I don't know how you could hate that, honestly. It's the 49ers defense, they're pretty good. I honestly could contend that you could fire up the Bears defense too.
Well, it's just based on previous weeks to where how many points they've given up to where somebody in your league might have dropped them to where you might be able to pick them up. I like them this week versus a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good call.
That's my thinking. Yeah, that's my thinking.
Yeah. I will say I think George Kittle gets a massive boost with CMC gone.
Oh yeah.
With
what do you have?
Which you're never going to bench. You're never going to bench
targets last game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, snowball.
He had the first target of the game, and they didn't throw it to him again.
I threw it one more time to him, but yeah. I digress. Let's go to Sunday Night Football. Listen, the Los Angeles Chargers take on the Kansas City Chiefs. I really like this game, and not just because I'm a Chiefs fan. Both of these teams have shown things that glimpses of greatness.
Take it away for this. I don't even want to talk about the Chiefs or the Chargers right now.
Look, if Lad McConkey's playing, you have to play Lad. Quentin Johnston has reestablished that he truly does have brick for hands. And I think Will Dissly is in a great spot. I know he did not play well last week, but they're playing the Chiefs. The Chiefs are notoriously bad against tight ends. You've heard the stat a billion times. Will Dissly's in a good spot.
After one target last week, yeah.
I don't like any of the Chargers running backs this week at all. Because, again, the Chiefs are one of the best run-stopping defenses in the NFL. The Chiefs get an upgrade, and by an upgrade, I mean going from the second worst tackle in football to a guy who was a Pro Bowler last year. So I don't know how much of an upgrade you can call that, but I would think you would call that 3 points at least when you're giving your franchise quarterback and MVP and superstar at least 3
maybe
seconds.
half points.
You're going to give him an
Maybe
extra 3 seconds to get the ball off, maybe. And every second you give Patrick Mahomes, second you give Patrick Mahomes is a point.
That's a half point.
We'll see this week. If they cover 7, Jason, if they cover 7.
Win by 8, you're welcome. I called it.
Well, I meant because there's a 4-point spread. So if they cover 7, then that would be covering the 3 points. I'm saying I'll attribute it all to this. I'll attribute it all to DJ Humphries.
Have they ever covered a 7-point?
Yes, they have. It's been a while. Okay, let's not talk about that. We're in fantasy football land. DeAndre Hopkins is a fire. Travis Kelce is a fire. Isaiah Pacheco is a fire. No one.
Hey, when does Hollywood come back?
Hollywood Brown anticipated return could be as early as week 15, and if not, it's week 16. I think they do ramp him up into the playoffs. So I don't know that he goes back.
Is that something that you would be interested in for fantasy?
Yes, 100%. I
would for redraft. Yeah.
If he is not, if someone dropped him because they needed the IR spot for temporary use, I would go back him and stash him, because if he comes back, I think that he's going to be a focal point of this offense, just like they had expected him to be. And it's not like he had a leg injury; he had a shoulder injury, so like a little different. So
that's what we had. It's like, hey, just
he had
a little bum shoulder.
Yeah, I would say he had a baseball injury, but he literally broke his clavicle away from his sternum, so he did not have a baseball injury.
Ew.
He had a car crash injury. Now for Monday Night Football, the game that would have been really cool if either of these teams were good. The Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals face off in the Battle of Mid. That's what we're going to call this. The Battle of Mid on Monday night. The Bengals offense we know is absolutely potent, and the Cowboys defense is pretty good. I have nothing, Jason. You're starting the normal guys. That's it.
Have a great night.
Yeah, Monday Night Football. Enjoy it. Maybe go spend time with the kids. I don't know. That's my take on Monday Night Football.
This could have been really good.
This could have been an amazing game. You put Dak in it. The Bengals have an adequate defense instead of whatever this abysmal shit that they decided to do is.
I hope Trey Lance plays.
That would be tight. I'm on board. Although Cooper Rush played okay last week.
I know, but for some reason, I hope Trey Lance plays in this game.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe he takes a Taysom Hill role. That's what everybody keeps hoping for in Dallas land. In the meantime, I think that we should just cook up some dubs this week. Get yourself to the fantasy playoffs. If you need us, call us. Beep us if you want to reach us. Follow us on the socials. Hit the bell till it goes ding. And with that, Jason, you know what to do.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. We got you. Hey, thank you guys. Fantasy Six Pack, we love you. Shannon and I are here for you all the time. Matt will be here next week, but thank you guys. Appreciate your love and support. Good luck this week and playoff situations. With that,
Salute.
peace, love.